Welcome to Making Music with Miss Whitney. Today we're going to be learning how to draw a treble clef and a bass clef. So the treble clef is a sort of shape like this. Some people draw it this way and some people draw it from the bottom up. But either way, we notice that we have the circular motion around the second line. And that is because the second line is G. If you put a note here on the second line, it is G. And if you'll notice, the treble clef looks very similar to a very fancy G. And you have to make sure that when you draw the treble clef, that you have the circular motion around the G line. And then you continue up and down and draw your loop. So that is for the upper voices, the higher pitches in the music. And for the lower, we have the bass clef. Now, the bass clef, you'll notice, has this little dot around right on the middle of this line right here, the second from the top line. And the bass clef represents the lower voices in music. And this second from the top line is F in the bass clef. And if you'll notice, this looks like a very fancy kind of backwards F. But that represents the F clef or the bass clef because, again, this second line from the top, if you were to put a note on it, that would be F. And so you can either hear it called the bass clef or the F clef. And the two dots that come right after it go above the F line and below the F line. If you have a treble voice and a bass voice, or a right hand and left hand in piano, or a higher pitched instrument versus a lower pitched instrument, the higher will go on the top. I like to start around the G because I see where the G line is and I can make that circle. But I have been told that people typically draw it from here first. Then they go up, make their point around, and then they circle the G. I don't think it matters too much whichever one you decide to do, as long as it does circle around the G and has the shape of the treble clef. So you'll have that one on top, and then you will have your bass clef, and it comes down to this line on the bottom. And this will be called together the staff, the grand staff.